All right. Can I have a...
Absolutely.
Thank you very
sir.
much.
You're welcome.
Miles, what do you got going over there? What's your...
I got a Core Power. It's elite chocolate, complete protein, chocolate milk type thing. So
on the show, we kind of represent all different walks of life when it comes to drinks.
Just keeping it true to brand, you know?
You're not screwing around, are you?
So you guys can dehydrate and drink beer and all that, and that's fine. It's totally your choice, but I'm just going to be over here building muscle and talking while I build muscle. So.
You know what people don't know about with
I'm
Miller...
not judging or anything. I'm just saying it's probably a better choice, but it's not a big
What people
deal.
don't know about Miller Lite, though, is it's actually a great source of protein and natural electrolytes.
Like, what is it, 1.6 grams of protein?
Exactly. Yep. That's what it was.
Wow.
Yeah. 0.7.
Did you say a great source of protein?
Great source of electrolytes and protein.
Electrolytes?
Yeah. Yep.
How does that work?
It's science.
So,
just science stuff. Yeah,
I learned about that a little bit. I chose not to focus when the classes came because I thought it would be cooler. Thought I'd be doing labs potions.
Yeah.
That was witchcraft is what I was thinking it might be.
Is that why you don't drink beer?
Not science.
Because you don't understand it? Is that
it's witchcraft, demonic. I think.
Okay, maybe we should actually start the show. So thank you for tuning in to another episode of What Do You Say, Dad? A Father-Son podcast about
beautiful
life.
Here.
I'm sorry, I wasn't finished with my introduction. I'll take that back. What Do You Say, Dad? A Father-Son podcast about life, OCD, and other bullshit. I'm your host, Hunter Sansone, along with my co-host, Gregg Sansone, my father. Now you can speak.
Hit me. What's up?
There we go. Alongside is my good pal, Mr. Miles Burris.
Oh, where'd those horses go? Are they free range?
Yeah, there's 5 acres here.
Free range?
They're free range horses?
Yeah, they're free.
No, they're free. What do we have them in a cage?
Miles, we have 5 acres. I told you that earlier. Fuck me. There's 5 acres here.
They full grown?
They're not puppies, man. Yes, they're full grown.
Oh.
Yeah.
How long do you wait until the meat's not good anymore as far as...
Oh, okay.
Fuck
okay,
me.
no, there's difference with horses and cattle. Cattle you consume, horses we don't. We ride them and look at them.
Like, listen, I've been in Nashville for 4.5 years now. You've been too, so there's a big meat market for horse here. People are really into it.
Okay, I don't eat my horses.
Okay.
That's a simple. We can.
If you ever want to change your mind, I do know a lot about it. I would love to help you with the process.
I'm not eating my horses.
I liked the one that was white with some speckles on it.
Okay, maybe we should reel it back in. We are not about horse eating here, guys.
It was beautiful here.
What we like to focus on, if I can control my two fucking my co-host and my guest for 2 seconds, what we like to focus on is what we got in Miles. So, Miles, you're a father, you're actor, content creator, former NFL linebacker. We met on set of a movie, Safety, and he was actually my bully in Safety.
Yeah.
So, Miles, what? Before you turned into a fucking comedian, what tell us about the NFL. The NFL.
He asked the fucking question.
Tell us about your journey, and we're gonna interject. Don't go too long though, or we're gonna have to cut you off.
Yeah, no doubt.
Just get right to it.
I did football for some years. It was fun. I did.
That's great. So, Dad.
Yeah. Thank you. For
No.
Thank you.
You know, you're gonna go back. Start over. So you played junior varsity.
Yeah, it started in junior Grizzlies or junior football. Yeah, kind of a peewee type thing.
All right, so you played for the fucking NFL Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, tell us about that.
Yeah, so I'm a Sacramento kid. So I was kind of his hometown, as anybody on the team. About 90 minutes east of Oakland is where we were at the time. So the family was rocking it every game. Before that, I was in San Diego State, and so they were driving 8 hours, to go see me play at home games, and awesome. They were fired up. I was fired up. It was great. Super high pressure. I was living the dream for sure. That was always the dream, but it's hard to sink into the moment and really take it for what it is as the dream. You don't feel that piece of it the way you think you might have as your child, because it's just, everything's happening so fast. You don't have a second to stop and smell the roses. You can't really, at least where I was in my psychology at 23 years old.
Fuck, you were 23 when you went into the league?
Yeah. No, I was 23 when I got drafted. I turned 24 before the start of the season.
Got it. Okay. And so, I mean, dealing with that sort of pressure, I mean, you I mean, how long were you in the league?
4 years, 4 credited seasons. I was injured for the last one, so I played out my rookie contract basically with Oakland.
Got it. What happened injury-wise?
Knee. My right knee was just worn out. Didn't really have much tread on the tire. Had a couple surgeries. Didn't react well to the surgeries. It was just a scope. They got in there and found a whole lot. So I had a partially torn ACL as well, but I never got that operated on. And the pain from that, I mean, I didn't really even notice compared to the bone-on-bone pain. That was really, especially when I think a nerve was being hit or something, because like the musculature in my right leg would just shut down sometimes. Wow. So it just was kind of a ticking time bomb, and then it happened, and it's part of it. It's what you sign up for.
And then you tried to heal that up, right? And rehab it, and you tried to get back in the league, and it just didn't go back to where it was before.
Yeah, exactly. It took like a year to get to where I could call my football agent and be like, hey, let's take workouts again. Let's do it. Took workouts for about a year, constantly looking at like the injury tracker, and you never root for guys to get injured, but every time somebody does, you're like, okay, hey, this might work, right. You know?
Yeah.
And so I was always getting called in by different teams throughout the season, and seemed really promising at moments, and then it just a lot of times. So like one time I was at a Mexican restaurant with my family. I was back in my hometown. I was just staying with my in-laws, actually. My wife and I are from the same hometown. And because we're just in limbo, it's not that we needed it, but we're just like, we don't know where we're going next. I don't want to have to get a bunch of furniture and move some temporary place just to get, a call from the Jets, which I did in this Mexican restaurant, and hang up the phone and just talk to my agent. I say Jets, and everybody's fired up. And then like 5 minutes later, I get another call, and he said, hey, I'm really sorry. The trainers vetoed it right after seeing your scans, so I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
So it's just like stuff like that would happen, and
whoa,
it was rough.
Destroy.
Oh yeah, it was rough. It was rougher on my wife too. Women really want stability and to know what the next thing is, and it was just very unstable profession.
That's got to be. You went from one unstable profession to the next. I mean, honestly though, I feel like that's inspiring, because that had to have been a really, really dark time for you. Am I right?
No doubt, especially after. So I had like a 3-day mini camp with the Vikings in 2017. And day one, when you're in a camp, you're basically on your feet all day. You're having like 2-a-days, or at least a walkthrough where it's like jogging around, and then the big practice and going from meeting to meeting and weights and everything. And the first day it blew up to the size of a softball. And I'm like, oh, damn, that's a little different than, feeling like I was healthy enough doing workouts every day and running around. But this was like, you're in it. The pounding was just too much. And I knew from that day, I was like, okay, it is over.
You knew that.
Yeah.
And that has to be just your whole life was dedicated.
Yeah.
Towards this thing. Did you feel like, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do now with your life, or did you kind of always have this, what you're doing now, this performance career in the back of your mind, or did you really feel like, fuck, I'm lost, man? My whole life was football, and now I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
It's a great question. I think it was definitely both. Like the acting thing in the back of my mind was definitely there, but I didn't know if I would like really like it or take to it or be any good at it. It was just something I had thought about and told my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time in college, because I thought, oh, that might be a cool career. That seems cool,
Right. Right.
And yeah, it was super dark, because I also like 100% believed I was going to make it back and like redeem my career and, play 10 years and do the thing like that. The kind of the belief under it all was that I'm not going to enjoy anything vocationally the way I'm going to have what I have with football.
Right.
Like the passion, the purpose with it. It's kind of all, downhill from here. It's nothing's going to measure up,
But man, look at how it is now.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's a great point for our listeners, is like you might be going down one path and you're convinced that this is my journey. This is what life has planned for me. This is what God has planned for me. And then out of nowhere, you get hit with a curveball, and you realize very quickly that that's not what's going to happen. And then you went out there and you turned it around, and I mean, look at you, man. You're a successful actor, content creator, comedian. You're doing all the things. Father. I mean, and I'm sure if you would have had a longer NFL career, you probably wouldn't have been able to do what you're doing now.
Yeah, potentially.
At this extent, like, because you would have been so honed in on that.
Yeah.
You know, you would have been so dedicated to that.
Yeah, I also don't know if the drive would have been the same to pursue the acting the way, like, if I was kind of set based on the numbers and what my agents were telling me and, you know, everybody else in my draft class and how I was performing, I was going to get a pretty good second contract, but didn't make it to it. And so once you're paid, you know, it's probably a little bit harder to go through 50 rejections via silence on auditions before you book one. And you never know if that one is going to be a game changer for you or something nobody even sees. And, but I also sometimes wonder too, because I mean, when passion hits, at least for me, it's just like, let's go full steam ahead.
Yeah.
The first time I got on a set, it was really my first audition, which I think it was just kind of a God thing, because just giving me direction of sorts. It was, I just created an actor's access profile, knew nothing. And, you know, most of those are just like student films and no budget projects, and you'll probably never even get the footage from it. I didn't know any of that, but I you know, submitted for this one, and every now and then they'll throw a project in there that they've re-released and re-released to agents trying to cast it, and they can't cast it, so they're like, throw it to the wolves on Actors Access.
Right.
This happened to be one of those, and I didn't know that, but I booked it, and didn't really know much about it, or, you know, I didn't know to search IMDb back in those days and who's going to be attached and whatnot. But I get to there, and it was like Randall Park was like the first person I met, you know, and I'm immediately like thrown into a rehearsal with them, and it gets to my part, and I threw a weird twang on my character. It was like a goofy comedy, and they all lost it. Like, we had to stop the rehearsal. I was like,
that was the moment.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
realized,
like, I moved on from football in a flash.
Perfect.
And I'm really grateful for that, because it was a legitimate, like, big budget pilot production. It didn't get picked up, but I got a feel for what it is to be really in a Hollywood set. And you know, had I gone straight to like some student film or something, and this rinky-dink thing with some kid with a camera, I'd have probably been like, you know, I don't know.
How long was it from when you knew football was over until you had that experience with acting?
Knew football was over to that, probably 3 or 4 months, something like that.
So you had 3 or 4 months. What were those 3 or 4 months like?
So,
for you?
Yeah, it was, within that, I think, I was on the couch for a couple days after that camp, and just sitting there watching Parks and Rec and depressed and trying to get a few giggles. And my wife was like, you need to get up. Like, you can't do this. You know, you talked about the acting thing. So she actually was the one who Googled like acting classes in LA. We were in Laguna Niguel in Orange County at the time. And she got me signed up for one of them. And I would go once a week, and was just going to classes. I just figured it's probably a long time before I should even think about auditioning or anything. And the teacher was like, well, no, you get auditions, you get an Actors Access profile, whatever. And all that, happened pretty quick.
You had your wife behind you.
I had my wife behind me.
That's huge.
Yeah.
It's everything. I've been through stuff too, and when you got your wife behind you,
yes,
game changer.
It is 100% a game changer. She was the catalyst on a lot of things in my life, and just keeping me on the straight and narrow, you know, since I was 16 years old, really.
I feel like that's such a difference maker with going through anything in life, is having a family member, somebody that is a rock for you in a sense. It could be a wife, a partner, a father, brother, sister, cousin.
Yeah.
It's somebody that you can bounce shit off of and have that support, you know, because it's already a dark time, and then imagine going through that shit alone. So being able to have somebody that you can really reach out to. I mean, so like, what would you say after going through that, after going through a dark time of one period of your life ending, and probably those 3 to 4 months would be where that big mindset shift took place. What would you, for someone out there who's maybe in a big transition period in their life, and maybe something that they thought was going to be the rest of their life just ended, and they feel a little lost and confused about how they may ever rebound from that? What was the key for you? What was the mindset shift, or was it just the simple fact of having a support partner? What would you say the key was for you?
Yeah, good question. I think it's a combination of having a new goal and community. I get really warped if I'm isolated, but you know, that's where you get a little bit crazy. You know, the darkest sides of you that you didn't know were there that would come out, or words that spill out of your mouth that you wish you could take back from your wife. You say some venomous stuff, and it's just like, man, I'm pretty screwed off right now, you know, and it's the human condition. You know, it's the human condition. Something hits you and it rocks your world. And if you're not plugged in with people that you, like you said, can bounce things off of, that are healthy, that you trust, that you feel like you can share in a non-judgment environment, if you don't have that, then you're just warped in your head. And now these things that it almost warps into something that's not real either. You start making stories around this thing that happened and what it means, and
becomes your reality.
Because you're obsessing over it.
Yeah.
Within your own mind with no outside point of view.
Exactly.
And that's across the board with so
and
many
it doesn't
different
take many people. You say community. For me, it just takes one.
Yeah.
Like my wife, you know, somebody, or my son, just somebody that you can, you know. Did you have more support?
Yeah, I had some people through the church, and like a group that we were meeting with once a week.
Yeah, I had brothers too when I went through my stuff. But yes.
Yeah, I had to make some calls as well too, because I don't think can't remember the time super specifically, but I'm also an isolator. You know, it's
okay.
It's just a tendency, and I remember COVID kind of did a number on that too, and
around that time.
No, that was a different scenario. But if I can get in community and kind of let those things air out, you get other perspectives, you get encouragement, you get to see it from different lenses, and that kind of clears up your own mind. But two, having just a new goal, new potential future possibilities. Like, say, you know, maybe at that time it was like, well, shoot, maybe I could get on like a TV show. Maybe I could be on, you know, I had no idea.
Again. You start getting excited again.
Exactly. And it comes from just making like a little bit of progress, like going to an acting class and like, you know, the acting coach saying, you know, giving you a compliment, like, oh, you're naturally pretty good at this. I'm like, oh, really? I am. I don't know. I'm not really sure. It's hard to judge yourself, you know, in those environments. And
you don't need a lot.
Yeah, you don't need a lot.
Right, to feel better.
Yes.
Right.
And especially from an athlete's background where it's like, well, my goal is to make 100 tackles or to bench 315, you know, and it's like maybe you're at 270 right now, but then next week you get 2 plates and a 25 on each side. Oh, I got 5 pounds stronger. That just little momentum, it fuels you and it gives you hope for like, hey, my life could look like this at this time if I do X, Y, and Z. And I believe that these things are going to get me there. And, you know, my God-given free will to get after these things might lead to an idealistic future. You know, that's a really big piece of it, to just have hope, you know.
Having hope, man.
You know, I was going to say one thing. When I said about some things that I had been through myself, and I had my wife and I had my son, I didn't want to undermine, I mentioned a little bit about my brothers. I got 5 brothers, and that was a big part of it too. When you do, one is good. One can do it. But when you got a group behind you that's kind of rallying, there's something powerful about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's not just, I don't know, it just feels like it's not just you. Now it's doable. Yeah. Somebody else gives a shit.
Somebody else has ideas.
Somebody else has ideas and beliefs, and it's not the end of the world. They're saying.
Yeah.
And the opposite of that is isolation, and you're just with yourself, and that's a messed up deal.
Yeah. That's why, like, the sickest torture for a prisoner is to put him in solitary.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's the most painful thing. They'd rather be, you know, in the mix of maybe getting killed or shanked than be all by themselves for that long and have no idea if the sun's out or when they're getting to see it.
Yeah, man. And how important was fitness for you throughout dark times? I mean, because clearly it feels like maybe you go to the gym once every 6 weeks, occasionally.
Yeah, I dabble here.
You dabble hobby. Here and there. For me, that's a thing that has been very across the board beneficial for mental health is getting in the gym, sweating, fucking doing something hard, doing something you don't want to do. Do you notice that has an effect on your psyche?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Especially in those moments too, the dark times, it's like the last thing you want to do is like exert yourself or try or even have to think about what am I going to do in the gym. But when you do hit that sweat and you break it and the endorphins kind of kick you can kind of see things from a little bit of a lighter detachment,
Yeah.
It's so odd.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
so
cool.
It's
you
big.
Can't explain it.
Yeah.
But it happens every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. That you break that sweat and then it's like, oh man, I'm rolling. But you think about it ahead of time, you get nowhere.
Yeah.
The thinking doesn't do it.
Think my way into it. Yeah.
Right. I spent a lot of time doing that.
Sport thinking, I call it.
Sport what?
Sport thinking,
Uh-huh.
It's really think
you
about.
act like you're doing something.
Yeah.
You're not doing squat.
Yeah.
Right. Easiest thing to do. That happened to me today. I was sitting on the couch and I was thinking about stuff and thinking things through. And it was like, and it dawned on me in that moment, the most comfortable thing right now to do is to sit here and think. It doesn't take any effort.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really negative thoughts, but and it takes no effort. And it's not, and I really I need to feed the horses. I was feeling lazy. I need to feed the horse. I need to get the grass cut. I need to get breakfast going. And it was just like, bam, got up. Don't be full of shit, walk your talk.
And what is that? Because for some people, they may not understand, all right, now it's in my mind, I'm just going to get up. What was the mindset about, all right, now I'm actually going to get up? How did you execute getting up?
I think what clicked for me in that moment was the realization of how much easier for me it is to think right now than it is to take action. I realized it. And I think just the awareness of it was like, no, I don't want to be that way.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that. That's a bullshit way to live. And it just made me move.
One of the keys for me in those moments when I'm debating if I'm going to get up and do something productive, something I know that I should or need to do, is thinking about the regret of not doing it later on in the day. Think about how I'll feel about myself if I don't get up right now and do what I know I should be doing. Think about how much of a piece of shit I'll feel like later on in the day because I didn't do what I knew I should have done.
Yeah.
That's what works for me. It may not work for everybody, but that right there, the power of future regret.
Yeah.
The power of future regret if you're unable to follow through with your own promises to yourself.
That's big.
Yeah.
That's one of my big things.
Yeah, I'm going to use that.
Yeah, man.
It makes sense. I just never really done that.
Yeah, I haven't done that part either, but that's powerful.
Yeah.
One thing I know for my life, I've dealt with depression. I've dealt with OCD all for over 40 years now. Had some very tough times with it. Came through it and worked on it and sometimes still deal with it. But one of the things that I have experienced is that there is nothing like the doing. The active doing.
Yeah.
Physical moving, physical doing, out of your head and on your feet, and that's where you're supposed to live. And it is truly the most powerful thing going. And it doesn't matter what I'm doing. I mean, I can be, take the pitchfork and the wheelbarrow and go around the grounds and just start picking up horse manure and put it in a pile where my wife will use it for gardening or whatever. And it's the same act of doing, whether I'm doing that or I'm working on something in business I'm trying to make happen. It doesn't matter the degree of importance. When I just recognize I'm doing, like dishes or sweeping a floor or feeding a horse, there is really power in doing, in action, in movement. And I do want to say this to the audience. It used to be when I was at my worst with depression and OCD, I would say, okay, when I get myself in the mood, then I'm going to go work out. And I really thought that was the requirement. Like, I need to be in the mood and then I'll go work out, because I always kind of was prior to this stuff happening and coming to my mind, with this depression OCD at 18 years old. So it was like, okay, I'll get in the mood and then I'll do it. And then I finally realized, it took me a long time, but that no, it's not about getting in the mood to do it. I have to not want to do it and not be in the mood and then make myself do it in order to come out of the mood. Sport thinking.
Yeah.
Like you just said, it's a beautiful phrasing. I can't think my way out of it. But I think that goes unsaid a lot. I think that our mind tricks us that we think we can think our way out of it. Anything on that for you? Or
I mean, I think that's spot on. Anytime I find myself up here in my head for too fucking long, 9 times out of 10, I'm playing a game.
There it is.
Unconsciously or consciously, knowingly or unknowingly, I'm playing a game. And
what is the game? Is it a lazy game? It is for me.
Maybe unconsciously.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're just going around in circles doing mathematics about a problem or about a thing. Or maybe I should do it, maybe I shouldn't do it. And instead of just stop fucking thinking, get out of your mind and into your body.
Yeah.
And actually do something, actually move, actually sweep, actually go in the gym, do that thing. And then I start fucking feeling better. And one of the biggest keys for me with productivity in general, and I think I learned it from you, Dad, is I don't need to go do that thing at 100% or perfect. It doesn't need to be done perfect. And that was my problem. That was my worst enemy for a long time with going to the gym or needing to accomplish anything, is in my head, I was like, all right, if I'm going to go to the gym right now, I got to work out like a fucking madman. And it's got to be the best work-out of my entire life.
Or it doesn't count.
Or it doesn't count. Or it's not even worth doing it to begin with.
Yeah.
And that is a problem. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
Now the mindset is, all I got to do is start. All I got to do is show up.
And you've won.
And I've won.
Yeah.
And that is, it's not just a game I'm playing with myself. It's genuine. I have walked out of the gym after 10 minutes.
Right.
It's truly giving yourself the permission to leave or to stop that thing.
That's what gets you there.
Even if you're only 50% of the way through.
Yeah.
Because
otherwise you don't get there.
It's the act of showing up, and more than the benefit that you get from the physicality of it, it's the pathways that you're creating in your brain. It's the habits that you're developing in your brain, the consistency that you're developing in your brain, more so than the actual benefit you're getting from the physical doing of the activity.
Yeah.
That is what is so big for me and so key for me when it comes to just getting off my ass.
The brain patterns first.
Right.
The body will come
That's
later.
What it's doing. You're just developing a habit.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, consistency is kind of probably the biggest principle in working out. 'Cause a lot of people, they work hard and, they maybe eat well enough to make gains and stuff, but it's just falling off for a week or, that mindset. I know in the past I've dealt with a lot of that as well, where it's like, it's got to, but if I'm going to do this, this push day, I have to get my chest, and I got to do these different exercises for the chest, and then I also got to get the shoulders, and it doesn't count. I got to get the overhead.
Big. You blow it up to be so fucking big in your mind, you don't do it.
And that's what kills your volume and your consistency of getting the work in. And
you may feel like shit, but feeling like shit and only doing half of your workout is better than feeling like shit and doing 0 of your workout.
Yeah. I was talking to a buddy about that the other day. He's like, I'm the only time I really have with my kids and work and everything is if I'm going to get up at like 5 a.m. before work and work out. But like, I'm not at my strongest at that time. And I was like, dude, but you're going to get the consistency and the volume, and you're going to have so many more gains just by doing something. It doesn't matter if you're, at 90% versus 100.
That's
just
so
get
key.
it in,
That is so key.
Yes. Yeah.
Doesn't have to be all out. I learned that. Some of my tough times, again, is just like, you know what? I heard this one time. I saw it on a T-shirt, and it said, just do 1%. And then under it said, every day. And it really spoke to me. It's like on those brutal days, on those hard days or whatever that you just don't want to go, you just don't want to do 1%.
Yeah.
Because it's not overwhelming to think, okay, I'm just going to do 1%. I'm just going to put on my shoes to go for my jog. It doesn't mean I got to go for my jog, but I'm going to put them on. Well, what I talk about all the time is when you do that, when you do something you say you're going to do, like I say, I'm going to put my shoes on, and I actually do it. There's something that fires in the brain and the nervous system. I think endorphins, it's serotonin, dopamine, whatever it is, adrenaline. And you suddenly, you're doing small things, and then, I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but then it's like I notice I feel a little bit better, and I don't know why. It's because I've been doing little things. So if I put my shoes on, now I feel teeny bit better about going to the next step, driving to the gym. Now I drive to the gym. Those are all wins. They're mental wins.
Yeah.
Now I feel even better about actually walking in. But now I don't got to say I got to go 30 minutes or an hour and a half. I don't say that. I'm just going to walk in. Now I feel a little, we all know what happens.
Yeah.
It's a momentum thing, but we can mind screw ourselves so easily. I have done that so many times. I don't do it anymore. I do not do it anymore. I don't rush when I'm working. I don't rush when I'm working out anymore. I stop myself. The last time I remember rushing is when you and I were putting this shit together the other day, and we didn't know if something was working. And so I was out of my mode and I was rushing. And I came out of that wine cellar, and I busted my head on that frickin' concrete thing in there.
Yeah, damn.
And I almost went down. Hunter goes, Dad? And I'm like, yeah. I said, wow, man, I really, really hit my head.
Really, he fucking leveled himself.
It's been a few days, and now it's just tender. Before, the entire head felt huge. But I don't rush anymore and kick my own ass anymore. Momentum kicks in at some point, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're a guy who knows that shit, and it's just beating the hell out of myself doesn't do it.
No.
Yeah.
But staying in the game, just stay in the game.
Yeah.
Just stay in the fucking game. You don't have to set the world on fire every day. Just stay in the game.
And I think an important fact to note is you can waste so much unnecessary energy just by being up in your fucking head. When if you just stopped yourself, maybe set a timer. I'm going to allow myself to think about this thing for 2 minutes. And then after 2 minutes, I'll either have a solution and I'm going to move on, or I'm not going to have a solution. And guess what? I'm still going to fucking move on and do something. Even if I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, I could walk in circles. I'm still going to do something. Why? Because I'm choosing to not allow my mind to keep dictating me and keeping me prisoner by sitting down and thinking in circles backwards and forwards.
Yeah.
So I'm going to force myself to get up and do something.
Yeah.
So
absolute action. I tell people I have these folks that I'll coach with OCD or depression and different things. I'm not a therapist, but I'm coach, provide the motivation. I provide the relatedness in the trenches myself. And I just forgot what I was saying. Every day that happens.
Yeah, every
single go ahead.
Every single episode we've had, he's had a moment where he's about to make a great fucking point, and he blacks out.
May have been from hitting my head.
That happens to me a lot too.
Could have
okay,
been from hitting
Dad?
the fucking head.
Hello?
Yeah.
You okay?
Yeah. No, but what I'm concussed. But no, I want to take a stab at it though. But what I was saying was no idea.
Okay, that's good though. Because I do have a question for both of you.
Yeah.
So something I have thought of before, when I need to do something that I know needs to be done and I really don't want to fucking do it, and I'm feeling tired and I'm feeling defeated or I'm overworked or whatever the fuck it is, I have sometimes gone into my head and thought about, okay, what if I had a kid right now? What if I had a kid who is depending on me to do the shit I need to do right now in order for all of us to survive and live a happy, comfortable, safe life? And sometimes that what if in my head is all I need to get up off my ass. And now that's just hypothetical for me because I'm not a dad. But for you two, who both are, I'm curious about if when you guys first had your kid, well, Miles, you're a father of two, little boy and a little girl, dad, father of one. Was there, thinking back to those days, how did that affect your mindset and just your overall fire for life and getting shit done, knowing now, okay, it's not just me, or it's not just me and my girlfriend, it's not just me and my wife, it's me and a little human that's also depending on my ability to get off my fucking ass. What was that like for you guys?
Yeah, there was a level of that, especially early on, and having Bo, my first, is definitely there. It gives you a little kick, and I always say like that right when you bring the newborn home, it kind of feels like training camp in some ways. Like, you're going to be beat down just in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
You like accept the fact that like, I'm not going to sleep much, but that's what this is about. And you have an extra level of like energy behind you. And it
Acceptance kind of also.
Yeah, you're like running on fumes in some ways. You run up there when you hear the baby, crying or whatever it is.
4 a.m. doesn't matter what it is.
Constantly checking the monitor. Did he die? You're paranoid too.
And it's so interesting because in regular life, we're so precious about our fucking sleep and when we go to bed and when we wake up and all that shit. But when you got a kid, it doesn't matter. It's 3 a.m., 2 a.m., 1 a.m., 6 a.m. You're getting up and you're not even thinking twice about being tired or needing your sleep.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I'd say some of that has honestly like dwindled a little bit over the years. I think just because it's become the norm of like, I have kids.
You've had kids for a while. Yeah.
And football kind of put me in a spot in, having like a financial cushion. So it's not like, if I don't make money this month, then, we're
There's
out of
not
luck.
going to be food on the table.
Yeah. What happens with me, and it still happens, when you're 31 years old and I'm 61, and it still happens. It's not when you were a little kid or just when you were a little kid. It's period, having a son. And so now what happens is this. If I'm going through a rough time in my head, feeling down, caught up in some fear, whatever, here's what makes me excel. I will say to myself, if I'm not here one day, when I'm not here one day, and if this came upon my son, how would I want him to respond to this? And then that's the power I need.
The example.
And then I do it. Now, I don't have to call him and tell him I did it or do it in front of him, because I know that one thing you can't bullshit are your own kids. They know your character as good as yourself, if not better. They know who you are and who you're not, and what you are and what you're not. And so I know that if I make those hard decisions when I'm in a tough time, that's going to be an example for him. We can preach all we want and tell our kid how to be, how not to be. You want to really touch their heart and their soul? Live that way.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I do. To this day, you're an inspiration for me, because I'll always think about that in my toughest of times. And I don't always have tough times, but in my tough moments, I'll think about that. If this happened with him, or he's dealing with this in his head right now, how would I want him to respond? And it's like, son of a bitch, I'm going to do it. And I do. And it gives me tremendous motivation and inspiration.
It's huge.
To do it. It's huge. So it's very related to what you said.
Yeah.
Very, very.
I mean, 'cause I'm going to use that one day. I mean,
It's powerful.
I already do it hypothetically, but man, I can't imagine when you actually have.
When you have a child, or anybody that's close to you at all, how you live your life. Quick little story. After I'd gotten divorced, and I had dated for 13 years before I met Mary Ann. And I was dating, and I always wanted to get married again, but I wasn't going to settle. So I was dating, and I have all these conversations with the ladies I would date, and they would talk, and I would talk, and I really want to get to know them because I want to see if we're compatible. So, let's move it along, and because that's what I wanted. And so I would always try to understand who they are, and they would tell me their story, and they would tell me this and that. And after a while, I found the easiest trick in the world to knowing who someone is. I didn't need all the bullshit talk back and forth. All I had to do was say, so what'd you do today? So what did you do today? What did you do? Tells more about who you are than talking about what's important to you and all the bullshit. What did you do today? And then
because were you a productive?
Because it'll tell you who. I believe a person is what they do.
Yeah.
It's
about action more than the words. Yeah.
I believe we are what happens between the maternity ward and the cemetery. I believe that's what we are. What happens between birth and death is what and who we are. Not what we think or what we like or what we dislike. What do we do?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's kind of the litmus test for me. And I met Marianne, and we were talking one morning, and I wanted to see if she was a sleeper because I didn't like people that sleep late. I didn't like lazy. So I'd always try to find out if she was a sleeper. So I called her, not her, everybody when I would date. So this was early on. I called Marianne and I said, hey, you want to go, how about we have, you want to meet for coffee in the morning? And she was like, yeah, I could do that. And I said, okay, now it's going to test me. And I said, okay. And she goes, what time? And I said, how about 7:30? And she goes, I won't be able to make that. Immediately, my mind's going to, we got a sleeper.
We got a sleeper.
We got a sleeper. So she goes, I won't be able to make that. And I go, oh, you won't be able to make that? And she goes, no. And I go, is it too early? And she goes, no, I just won't be able to make it. And so we're going on like this. And I'm like, okay, she's not. So I'm like, well, I'm going to find out now. So then I said to her, okay, I said, well, what time do you get up? 8, 9, 10. When she goes, oh no, I get up much earlier than that. And I go, well then why can't we meet? She goes, okay, don't judge me for this. She goes, but a third job that I have is she had 2 other jobs that she did, and she had moved here on her own. And she goes, the third job that I do is I get up at 4:30 in the morning and I go with my girlfriend and we do landscaping.
Oh shit.
She thought it was a negative because I was going to think she was some ruffian out there working. And little did she know that is something I love.
Yeah.
I love a woman that'll work and that'll do. And I said, wait a minute. Did you just say you get up at 4:30 in the morning and then you go to do landscaping? She goes, yeah. And I do it till about 8 or 8:30. And then I shower and then I do the dog walking thing, and then I do, and I go, where are you right now? I was so much closer to her. I felt so much closer to her. But again, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? I think it tells everything.
Yeah.
That's
huge. What do you guys think?
No, I mean, I completely agree.
It cuts the bullshit out,
it
right?
cuts right through the bullshit.
Yeah, I've never heard that before. What did you do today? I thought it was going to be something so different. I didn't know where it was going to go, but that makes sense. Actions are louder than words.
It took me the longest time to figure that out.
Yeah.
It cuts through the bullshit, especially if you've been dating for a bit. You're probably exhausted of the same song and dance. Like, all right, what'd you do?
Yeah.
What'd you do? Everybody can talk a game.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's it.
So anyway, that was my story.
No, that's awesome. Well, Miles, tell us, man, do you have anything that our listeners should be looking out for as far as projects or anything you're working on right now that you're excited about?
Yeah, I'm at least 2 NDAs deep on a movie that I'm working on right now, so I can't.
Oh hell yeah,
can't
man!
say the name of the movie. It'll be a good one, a big one, hopefully. And
hell yeah. Statement right there.
It's been fun for the past month or so. I've been shooting in Atlanta and
bringing back memories.
Yeah, man.
So we, as I briefly mentioned in the beginning, Miles and I met on Safety, a football movie that we shot.
Yeah, we went method too. So between scenes, I would just keep him in a headlock and walk him around the whole set and make him eat in a headlock. And everything.
That's how. Oh, we had a fucking blast on that though, man. That was so cool. That was in Atlanta for 2 months, and I was in Atlanta for 9 months that year.
9 months?
Because I was doing
Stargirl.
Well, I did Stargirl for 6 and then Safety 2.5.
Yeah.
So that was good old ATL, baby.
Did you ever consider buying a house out there?
No, it's just not my, I don't know. I feel like I got too many other places that I'd rather be where family is, maybe Nashville or St. Louis or whatever it is. But I mean, they were housing us, they were putting us up with accommodations. So I didn't think of it. And I was young, I was like, I'm not trying to drop money on a house right now.
Yeah.
But I got a question.
Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 is the best it could be. How is your life right now?
That's a good question. A hard one to answer in some ways because I'm so ambitious. Yeah, I have to work with
that's my problem.
Being present between that, the towing the line of being present and counting my blessings, which I have so many of, and the gap where I want to be.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'd have to say, like I almost feel bad, but saying like an 8 or an 8.5.
You just took my numbers
yeah.
straight out of my mouth. I was going to say an 8 or an 8.5. That's exactly what I was going to say for me. But it's the same thing, Miles. I don't think it's anything to feel bad about. We're very ambitious.
Yeah.
So there's a lot we want to accomplish.
Yeah.
You know, of course, there's a world where I could be like, yeah, 10, I've got everything I need. I'm surviving. I'm happy. I'm taken care of. I'm healthy. All the things that really, really matter. But if we're looking at the grand scheme of things, what we're trying to accomplish big picture wise, you know, 8, 8.5.
Yeah, right.
So that's interesting. So if I asked myself on a scale of 1 to 10, where am I right now in my life? And I try not to go cognitive with it, but just to kind of go internal almost, you know, like, anyway, 1 to 10, 10's the best. Where am I right now in my life? It is a tough question, isn't it?
Yeah.
I would say, it's hard not to think and just feel it.
Yeah.
I would say definitely 8.
Mm-hmm.
When I say definitely 8, I would say at least 8. Between 8 and 8. 8 and 8.5. 8 and 8.5. That's interesting that we're all right there.
Yeah. No, it's a good number. It's a good place to
be.
Do we cowabunga or?
Hey!
I don't know. But like, I had a therapist one time tell me, he said, you know, if your marriage is 80% and north of 80%, that's a good marriage. You know, if it's 80%, at least 80% good. And I remember he said that. Don't know if I agree or disagree or whatever, but you know, mine's like up there on that end of things. But
That's solid.
Yeah, it's way up.
Let me ask you, what would you say, both you guys, and then we can give the listeners a break from us yapping our asses off, but what would you guys say are the keys, or choose one thing that you feel is a key factor for you for a happy marriage?
Who goes first?
You, the senior. Oh, easy, H. Easy.
Did you catch that?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. What was the question again, Hunter?
Ah, fuck.
Okay.
What is a key to a happy marriage for you, Senior Gregg?
So what is the happy marriage
Don't
key?
make it a big old thing. Just, you know, you can just say, listen in.
Can I just say it my way?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, go for it.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
What is a happy
Miles
marriage?
apologized to him.
What is a happy marriage key? Is that the question?
Yeah, what's a key to a happy marriage for you?
Not a happy marriage key. Done. All right, what's the key to a happy marriage? I would say having the right person. Very fucking simple.
Okay, once you have the right person.
Love the hell out of her.
Solid. Smiles?
Yeah, man. If I had to be one word, I guess it'd be communication.
Bam.
Yeah. One of the things that we'll do as like a habit to make it practical, and I haven't been perfect with this lately, but like before bed every night, we'll pray together, give her a kiss and say, I love you. And, so it's just a simple thing, but we had heard a statistic on that somewhere along the line where it was like, I want to say it was as aggressive as like 98% of couples that prayed daily together stay together. And so we were like, all right, we're not going to mess around with that. We'll just, we'll buy it.
That's big.
Oftentimes then that connects you on, one thing, even if you're, a little on edge with each other. And then sometimes it leads to just a conversation in general, too.
So it's not like you pray together and then you give each other a kiss, you say, love you. And then like after that, there's like a bastard.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Which is still fine. The statistics don't lie.
Sometimes it could be that way. It's like the adult version of like when you're on the phone with your mom, she says, no, you can't stay the night at your friends. Okay, love you, bye. Boom.
Exactly. Statistics are statistics. Yeah. Right. 98%. Right.
Oh, shit.
That's funny. What would you say the key is to a happy marriage?
Well, I'm not married yet, but I think the key to
You have been.
But no, I have not been married. God, that's a really bizarre statement to make. Listeners, I have never been married.
Nope.
I'd say the key to a happy relationship or a happy marriage is emotional maturity. One of them.
Wow.
One of them. The ability to put emotions to the side and be able to look at what's most important.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
Because when you're able to take emotion out of the fact, you're able to communicate much more clear.
Yes, you are.
no
and
doubt.
that's a big step, taking emotion out of it.
Yeah.
Are you an emotional person?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, I
very
know
emotional.
you're passionate. Well, if you're passionate, you probably are emotional.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel really big.
Well, you
And
are.
sometimes, you're a stuffer too. So, I don't feel, I push down the negative until it's at an 11. And then I'm like, I feel everything right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
yeah.
the emotion thing is huge. Oh, one last thing I want to say. One thing I learned with my marriage is that whenever we've been in a disagreement, argument, fight, whatever you want to call it, which is not very often.
Mhm.
It's like 200 times out in a year.
Jesus.
It's a joke. No, what I was going to say was whenever we will have a disagreement, we have fewer and fewer of them as time goes on. Now, that's kick-ass, isn't it?
That's awesome.
Get them up. What do you say we
Get them up, guys. And that's a great place for us to wrap it up here.
Wrap up. I wasn't finished with my point.
Oh, you got a point?
Fuck yes, I got a point.
Okay, go ahead.
My God.
Fuck.
What
Keep on going.
I'm sorry, Hunter.
Hang on in there, listeners.
I thought I was the dad. What do you say, Dad? Anyway, what I was going
Touche.
to say was, what subject was I on?
Oh, fuck. He's lost again.
No, what I was going to say was, if we are in a disagreement, if I can put myself in her shoes, this is really tough, especially when you're pissed, like you always are. You're always mad.
Always, man.
You're always mad. If I can put myself in her shoes, something happens. It's weird. I'm not as pissed off. I'm not saying she's right, but if I can see how she's seeing it,
Yeah.
it brings the thing down. And then I can be nicer because I'm not as pissed. And it's like, I'm not saying she's right, but it's just how she's seeing it. If I saw it the way she's seeing it, how would I respond?
Yeah.
Then I'm not pissed off at how she's responding.
Yeah.
It humanizes it.
Every time I've done that, we've been able to bring it back together. And again, it's not that many. I mean, we probably used to have four majors a year. Now I don't even know if we have one or two majors a year. I don't think we have them anymore. But anyway, that's a good thing. That's a tip.
That's huge.
That's on the house. That's free.
Guys, bring it up. Bring it up.
Bring it up. Bring it up.
Bring it up.
And on that note,
Break on 3. 1, 2, 3. Break.
break.
Oh, okay. Guys, thank you for tuning in to another episode of What Do You Say, Dad? Miles, appreciate you being on the show,
Show
brother.
them the 5 smiles.
Yeah,
Hey.
Flex on him, Miles. Over here, your camera's right
Yours
there,
is
bro.
over
Flex
there.
on him. Yep,
It's
there
about
it is.
19 inches of pure
Get your-
man meat. You're welcome.
Right here.
It's not
Hunts.
even pumped
Right
right,
here,
now.
Hunts.
So.
All right, guys, we'll be back with another episode. Godspeed, and thanks for listening.
Miles kicks ass.
Yes, yeah. That's